Daughter sends a photo. What her mom sees makes her dial 911 in shock. Before we dive in, drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Now, enjoy the story. Olivia Morgan stared at her phone, thumb hovering over the send button. The message to her 8-year-old daughter Lucy was simple. Having fun, sweetie? But she hesitated. This was Lucy's first sleepover, and Olivia didn't want to come off as overprotective. The invitation from Madison, her coworker Victoria's daughter, had come unexpectedly just last week. Olivia had mixed feelings, but finally convinced herself. She'll be fine, she whispered, pressing send. The house was silent. No giggles, no cartoons, no tiny footsteps pattering across the floor. She glanced at Lucy's favorite stuffed elephant, abandoned on the rug. Its worn fabric told stories of years of love. As a single mother and full-time nurse at Memorial Hospital, Olivia rarely had a night to herself. She should have been enjoying it. A long bath, maybe a movie that didn't feature animated princesses. Instead, she paced the living room, checking her phone every few minutes. When it finally chimed, her heart jumped. Lucy had sent a selfie. Her blonde curls were messy, her smile bright. She was surrounded by Madison and 2 other girls Olivia didn't recognize, all in colorful pajamas, inside what looked like a massive pillow fort. "Having the best time ever, Mom," the caption read. Relief washed over her. See? All that worrying for nothing. She was about to put the phone down when something in the background caught her eye. Olivia squinted and zoomed in. There, in the dark corner behind the girls, stood a man, partially hidden by a doorframe. A man? Victoria had never mentioned a boyfriend or roommate. Olivia remembered clearly. She said she lived alone with Madison since her divorce. The man's face was mostly in shadow. He wasn't smiling. He was just watching. A chill crept up Olivia's spine. "Who is that?" she whispered. Her hands trembled as she dialed Victoria. No answer. Voicemail. Again, nothing. The silence in her apartment, once peaceful, now felt heavy. "Don't overreact," she muttered. But memories of her ex-husband Andrew echoed in her head. "You always imagine the worst, Liv. It's exhausting." Maybe he was right. Maybe it was nothing. Still, she zoomed in again. The image became grainy, but her unease only sharpened. A tall man, broad shoulders, standing in shadow. His posture didn't look casual. It looked like he didn't want to be seen. She sent Victoria a text. "Hey, just checking in. Who's the man in your house? I noticed him in Lucy's photo." 5 minutes passed. 10. No reply. She tried calling the local non-emergency line, then hung up. What do I say? I saw a man in a photo? Pacing now, Olivia felt trapped in her own thoughts. Maybe a visitor? A brother? A neighbor? She pulled up Victoria's file in the hospital directory. Emergency contact, Margaret Wilson. Mother. Nothing about a male relative. "This is ridiculous," she said, even as she grabbed her keys and jacket. The microwave clock read 10:42 p.m. Lucy should be asleep by now. Victoria lived only 15 minutes away. As Olivia reached for the doorknob, her phone pinged with a message. It was Victoria. "Everything's fine. The girls are having a blast. Don't worry, no mention of the man, no explanation." That settled it. Olivia was going. The 15-minute drive stretched into what felt like hours. Olivia's knuckles were white on the steering wheel as she scanned each house number, heart pounding louder with every turn. Victoria's house was modest, a 2-story with blue shutters. Only a porch light and the flickering blue glow of a television lit the windows. Olivia parked across the street. What now? March up and demand answers? Peek through the windows like a maniac? She picked up her phone and tried calling again. To her surprise, Victoria answered. Her voice was low, tense. Olivia, it's almost 11. What's wrong? Who's the man in your house? Olivia asked bluntly. Silence. Too long. There's no man here, Victoria said carefully. I saw him, Victoria. In the photo Lucy sent. He was standing behind the girls. Who is he? Another pause. Then, you must be mistaken. It's just me and the girls. Olivia felt her stomach drop. I'm outside your house right now. You're what? Victoria hissed. Before Olivia could respond, a movement caught her eye. A side door opened, and a man stepped out. Tall. Quick. He moved toward a parked car half hidden under a tree. Someone's leaving your house, Victoria, Olivia said, her voice rising. What's going on? The call cut off. On instinct, Olivia grabbed her phone and snapped photos of the man. She couldn't see his face clearly, but she got his build, his clothing. Her fingers shook as she dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? There's an unidentified man who just fled a sleepover where my daughter is. I don't know who he is, but I'm concerned for the children's safety. As she finished, Victoria's front door opened. Victoria stood in the doorway, arms crossed, glaring across the street. Ma'am, are you in immediate danger? The dispatcher asked. No, Olivia said, her voice tight, but I don't know if the kids are safe. Please, send someone. Quickly. Minutes later, flashing red and blue lights lit up the quiet street. Neighbors peeked through curtains as a cruiser pulled up. Officer Daniels, stocky with a salt and pepper mustache, stood between Olivia and Victoria on the lawn. So let me get this straight, he said. You saw a man in a photo your daughter sent, got worried, and came here. He turned to Victoria. You say there was no man in your home tonight? Victoria nodded firmly. That's right. Just me and the girls. Olivia. Well, she can be a little overprotective. Olivia flushed with frustration. I know what I saw. Look at the photo. She thrust her phone toward the officer. He studied it closely. There does appear to be someone in the background, he admitted. Victoria leaned in, squinting at the screen. Oh, that must be a shadow from the lamp. The lighting in that room can play tricks. Daniels hesitated. Could be. Hard to say for sure. Olivia's voice sharpened. Then explain the man I just saw leave through your side door. Victoria let out a brittle laugh. Probably my neighbor, Mark. He borrowed a tool earlier. Seriously, Olivia, this is embarrassing. Inside the house, small faces gathered at the window. 4 little girls peeking out at the commotion. Lucy waved timidly at her mother. A stab of doubt pierced Olivia's chest. Had she made this worse for her daughter? Would this follow her to school? I'd like to check on my daughter, Olivia said firmly. Daniels nodded. That seems reasonable. Inside, the living room was a mess of sleeping bags and popcorn. The girls were watching a movie. Everything looked normal. Lucy ran to Olivia, wrapping small arms around her. Mom, why are the police here? Is everything okay? Olivia stroked her hair. Yes, sweetheart. I just got worried. Who else is in the house besides Miss Victoria? Lucy blinked. No one. Just us girls. Victoria gave Olivia a smug look. After a full check of the house revealed nothing unusual, Daniels pulled Olivia aside. Miss Morgan, I understand your concern, but there's no sign of danger here. What about the license plate I photographed? She asked. We'll run it, but without clear evidence of a crime. Olivia nodded, the weight of defeat pressing down. Lucy, get your things. We're going home. But Mom, it's not even midnight. We were gonna make s'mores in the microwave. The disappointment in Lucy's voice was like a punch to the chest. 3 days later, Olivia sat in her car outside Lucy's school, occupying the same prime pickup spot for the 3rd day in a row. Lucy used to take the bus, let herself in, call Olivia at work. Not anymore. She emerged now, shoulders hunched, her usual bounce gone. The sleepover incident had followed her to school, just as Olivia feared. Madison had apparently told everyone. Lucy's crazy mom called the cops for no reason. As Lucy climbed into the back seat, Olivia forced a smile. "How was school, sweetie?" "Fine," Lucy muttered. As they pulled away, Olivia noticed a blue sedan parked across the street. The driver sat low, face obscured. Something about it nagged at her. "Lucy?" she asked casually. "Did you notice anyone unusual around school today?" Lucy shrugged. "Like who?" "I don't know. Someone watching. Maybe a stranger?" Lucy rolled her eyes. "Mom, you're being weird again." At home, Olivia did her best to keep things normal. Helped Lucy with her homework, made dinner, but her thoughts kept circling. Later that night, after Lucy was asleep, Olivia sat at her kitchen table, staring at the photos she'd taken that night outside Victoria's house. One image stood out, a partial license plate, TRK47 something. She'd given the info to Officer Daniels. Still no word back. On impulse, she called the station. "Ms. Morgan?" Officer Daniels said, sounding tired. "We ran the partial plate. It's registered to a Raymond Keegan. No warrants, no red flags." "Who is he? How is he connected to Victoria?" "Ma'am," Daniels said, "we can't investigate someone just for existing in a neighborhood. There's no evidence of a crime." After hanging up, Olivia searched for Raymond Keegan online. A LinkedIn page, some social media, all private. The next morning, Olivia dropped Lucy off early for her reading group. As she pulled away, she saw it again. The same blue sea, parked closer this time, near the school entrance. She parked across the street and waited. 20 minutes later, a man stepped out. Tall, broad shoulders, light brown hair. He walked to the school fence and just stood there, watching the playground where Lucy was. Olivia's blood turned to ice. It was him, the man from the photo. She didn't think, she acted. She got out of her car, marched across the street. "Excuse me," she called out. "Raymond Keegan?" The man turned, startled. His eyes narrowed when he saw her. "Do I know you?" he asked, voice calm. "I'm Olivia Morgan, Lucy's mother. Why are you watching my daughter?" Raymond smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Lucy's mother, of course." He said it like they were old friends. "Beautiful child. She has your eyes. But her hair? That must be from her father." Olivia's skin crawled. "You didn't answer my question." "I'm not watching anyone," he said, relaxing slightly. "My niece goes to school here, Madison Bennett. You know her mother, Victoria." Olivia's heart raced. Victoria never mentioned a brother. "Half-brother, technically," he said, reading her confusion. "Different fathers. Victoria didn't mention me. Strange. We're quite close." Parents were arriving. Some glanced their way. Olivia suddenly felt exposed, vulnerable. "Stay away from my daughter," she said, voice low but firm. Raymond's expression flickered, a hint of menace, quickly masked. "I don't know what you think I've done, Miss Morgan." He smiled again. "But your concern is misplaced." "Then why were you at Victoria's house during the sleepover?" Her voice sharpened. "Why did you sneak out when I arrived?" He chuckled. "I was dropping off computer equipment, parked by the side door. Nothing sinister." It sounded reasonable, but it felt wrong. Olivia's eyes darted toward the playground. Lucy was gone from sight. Likely inside now. "I don't believe you," she said. Raymond took a step closer. Though his voice stayed pleasant, his eyes turned cold. "You should be careful about making accusations, Ms. Morgan. He leaned in slightly. People might think you're unstable. Olivia froze. What did you just say? Victoria told me you've struggled since your divorce. Anxiety issues? Medication? He raised an eyebrow. She's worried, actually, about how your behavior might affect Lucy. Her hands trembled. I've contacted the police about you, she bluffed. They're running a background check. Raymond's eyes flashed, a flicker of something dark. Then he shrugged. They won't find anything worth mentioning. Stay away from Lucy, Olivia said, turning to leave. Behind her, his voice followed. She looks like someone I used to know, someone very special. Same golden hair, same trusting smile. She froze mid-step, then kept walking, refusing to give him the satisfaction of seeing her fear. In the days that followed, Olivia's world narrowed to one mission: keeping Lucy safe. She rearranged her nursing shifts to match school hours, installed security cameras, escorted Lucy everywhere. No more solo bus rides, no more afternoons alone. Raymond had vanished. No blue sedan, no sightings, and yet the dread remained. The police had dismissed her concerns. Even Officer Daniels had stopped returning calls. Then, one evening during dinner, Lucy looked up from her spaghetti. Mom, can I go to Zoe's birthday party on Saturday? Her voice was hopeful. Everyone from class is going. Olivia hesitated. The party was at the community pool, public, open, with lots of parents around. Maybe it was time to give Lucy a little freedom back. Okay, Olivia said, but I'll drop you off and pick you up, myself. Saturday arrived bright and warm. Lucy bounced with excitement, clutching a gift-wrapped box. At the pool, kids screamed and splashed. Parents gathered in groups. Across the deck, Olivia spotted Victoria, who looked away, pretending not to see her. I'll be back at 3 sharp, Olivia said. I know, Mom. Lucy rolled her eyes. I'm not a baby. Olivia watched her daughter run to her friends, then turned and left. The first time in weeks she had a few hours to herself. But she didn't relax. Instead, she drove to Victoria's neighborhood, circling slowly. No sign of the blue sedan. At 2:45, Olivia returned to the pool. She expected to find Lucy sunburned and grinning. Instead, chaos. Parents clustered together. A lifeguard barked instructions into a megaphone. What's going on? Olivia asked someone. They're doing a pool check. A child's missing. Her blood froze. Which child? The woman shrugged. Olivia didn't wait. She shoved through the crowd, eyes scanning wildly. Lucy? A parent grabbed her arm. Olivia, we can't find Lucy. She was playing Marco Polo, then said she was going to the bathroom. That was 20 minutes. Time fractured. 30 minutes blurred into a nightmare. Police arrived. The pool was searched. Buildings checked. Then, a pool attendant approached. Ms. Morgan, we found your daughter. She's in the manager's office. Olivia ran. Lucy sat wrapped in a towel, face streaked with tears. In her hand, a small, woven bracelet Olivia had never seen. Lucy! She dropped to her knees. What happened? Where did you go? Lucy's voice was barely a whisper. A nice man said he had a surprise for me. A present. From you. The hospital corridors seemed endless. Lucy was in an exam room with a pediatric sexual assault nurse. A precaution, they said. Routine. Still, Olivia could barely breathe. The bracelet, colorful plastic beads, spelled out one word: special. Finally, Detective Rivera emerged. Her expression was neutral, professional. Ms. Morgan, she said, Lucy appears physically unharmed. No signs of assault, She's getting dressed now. Olivia exhaled so hard, she nearly collapsed. Did she say what happened? Rivera nodded. A man approached her near the restrooms, said you'd sent him, offered a gift, tried to get her to his car. She remembered your stranger danger talks and ran, hid in the storage room. It was Raymond, Olivia said flatly. Did she describe him? Rivera checked her notes. Light brown hair, blue shirt, knew her name, told her she was special. That matches what you've told us. Olivia reached into her phone. This is him. I took this photo outside Victoria's house. Rivera studied the screen. We'll investigate. In the meantime, I recommend you both speak to a trauma counselor. That night, Lucy fell asleep in Olivia's bed, curled up like she used to when she was a toddler. Alone in the bathroom, Olivia broke down. Silent sobs racked her body. This wasn't paranoia. This wasn't overprotection. Raymond had tried to take her daughter. She opened the medicine cabinet. At the back, a prescription bottle. Emergency anxiety meds, unused for years. Her hand trembled. Just one, she whispered. The pill tasted bitter. Relief came quickly. Then, shame. She'd broken 3 years of sobriety, the one thing she'd clung to. Tomorrow would bring police reports, school forms, lawyers. But tonight, all she felt was the fear. Morning came too soon. Olivia sat on the couch, laptop open beside her. Empty coffee cups littered the table. Printouts scattered like fallen leaves. She had spent the night digging for answers about Raymond Keegan, but everything pointed in circles. A LinkedIn profile with spotty work history, scattered addresses in multiple states, mentions in old local news clippings. Nothing criminal, nothing concrete, yet her gut screamed otherwise. She stared at the bracelet again. Plastic beads spelling special, just like Lucy said the man had called her. That word echoed in her head. Then a memory surfaced. Victoria's emergency contact at work, Margaret Wilson, her mother. Olivia scrolled through her contacts and dialed before she could hesitate. Hello? A frail, older woman's voice answered. Mrs. Wilson, this is Olivia Morgan. I work with your daughter Victoria at Memorial Hospital. Oh yes, the nurse. Is something wrong? Is Victoria all right? She's fine. I'm actually calling about Raymond Keegan, Victoria's brother. There was a long pause. Then, quietly, half-brother. Her tone turned sharp. Why are you asking about Raymond? I'm trying to understand some concerning behavior, Olivia said gently. Victoria mentioned that you two aren't close. Margaret scoffed. That's putting it mildly. I haven't spoken to her in years. Not since she helped Raymond after his release. Olivia's breath caught. Release? From where? Another pause. From Pine Valley, the psychiatric facility. Margaret's voice grew cold. Victoria never told you? No. Raymond spent 5 years there. After what happened with that little girl in our old neighborhood. The room around Olivia fell silent. What girl? Margaret hesitated. Then, a child from his tutoring program. Said he took her to his special place. Gave her little gifts. Bracelets. A bitter laugh. Just like he used to make for Victoria when they were children. Bracelets, like the one Lucy had. The family moved away after the allegations, Margaret continued. The case was dropped for lack of evidence. But I knew. A mother knows. And Victoria stayed loyal to him? Yes, said he was misunderstood. That we all abandoned him. Olivia's voice was shaking now. Did the little girl have blonde hair? A pause. Yes, she looked like Victoria when she was small. Raymond always fixated on her. After their father left, he became obsessed. Protective, too protective. The pieces clicked into place. Lucy looked like Victoria as a child. That's what Raymond had meant when he said Lucy reminded him of someone special. One more question, Olivia asked. Did Raymond ever live in Chicago? Yes, before everything. Why? Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. You've been incredibly helpful. She hung up, stared at the photo on her wall. Lucy at age 3, sitting on her father Andrew's lap. They had lived in Chicago. The timing, the resemblance, the fixation. A terrible suspicion took hold. What if Raymond had known Lucy before? Not just a coincidence, not a random target. What if he had been searching for her all along? As soon as Lucy was safely dropped off at school, with a patrol car parked nearby, Olivia took a personal day. She drove to the county courthouse. Down in the dim basement of the records department, she made her request. Criminal and restraining order records, please, for Raymond Keegan. After 20 minutes, she sat at a cold metal desk, flipping through printouts. Raymond had a sealed juvenile record, 2 adult complaints, both dismissed for insufficient evidence. Both involved young girls, blonde, ages 7 to 9, a pattern. But something else caught her eye. Victoria. She had once filed for a restraining order against her ex-husband, Jason Bennett. He'd allegedly threatened to expose family secrets unless she gave him full custody of Madison. Secrets? Olivia's phone buzzed. Text from Detective Rivera. Need to speak. New information. Call ASAP. She stepped outside and dialed. Miss Morgan, Rivera said, we've been digging into Raymond. His car was spotted near your apartment yesterday. He knows where we live? Yes, and there's more. He's not actually Victoria's biological brother. What? Their parents married when Victoria was 3 and Raymond was 12. Different fathers. After high school, he changed his last name from Tanner to Keegan, his mother's maiden name. Why? We're not sure, but it created a break in identity, harder to trace his past. A sick feeling rose in Olivia's chest. Detective, when Lucy was 4, my ex-husband hired a reading tutor in Chicago before our divorce. Silence on the line. Then, Ms. Morgan, I need you to contact your ex-husband. Ask if the tutor's name was Raymond Tanner, immediately. Olivia hadn't spoken to Andrew in months. Their communication was limited to cold emails about Lucy's school breaks and summer visits. But now, her hands trembled as she tapped his number. He answered on the 4th ring. Olivia, is Lucy okay? She's fine. I need to ask you something important. What is it? His voice tightened. Back when we lived in Chicago, when Lucy was 4, you hired a tutor to help her with reading. Do you remember his name? A pause. That was years ago. Some guy. I don't remember. Why? Please. Andrew, was it Raymond Tanner? The silence on the other end felt endless. Finally. How did you know that name? Olivia's pulse pounded. It was him. Yes, Ray Tanner, Andrew admitted. He came recommended by other parents. He was great with Lucy. What's this about? Olivia's voice cracked. Raymond Tanner changed his name. He's now Raymond Keegan. Another pause. He tried to abduct Lucy at the pool party. What? Andrew's voice rose with disbelief. That's impossible. He left Chicago after I let him go. Why did you let him go? She interrupted. Another long silence. He got too attached. Started bringing Lucy gifts. Called her special. Started acting like he was part of the family. I didn't like it. Told him to stop. He got angry, unstable. Said Lucy was like a daughter to him. Everything fell into place. This wasn't random. Raymond had been obsessed with Lucy for years. Andrew, I need you to call the Seattle police, immediately. Why? Because Raymond might come after you too. She ended the call. Sitting in her car outside the police station, She stared at her phone, hands shaking, mind racing. In her purse, the pill bottle called to her again. But she ignored it, gripped the steering wheel instead, breathed. Detective Rivera listened carefully as Olivia explained everything. From the Chicago connection to the tutoring. Rivera's professional mask cracked for just a moment. "This changes things," she said. She began coordinating with Chicago PD to reopen old files, requested patrols around Olivia's apartment, started the process to build a case. "But we still don't have enough to arrest him," she warned. "Lucy never got in the car. There's no physical evidence of attempted abduction." "So what do we do?" "We need to catch him in the act," Rivera said grimly. Olivia's stomach turned. "You mean use Lucy as bait?" Rivera didn't answer. That evening, Olivia's phone rang. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. "Olivia Morgan," she said. The voice on the other end froze her blood. "You've been busy today." "Raymond." She hit record on her phone without a word. "How did you get this number?" "Victoria's been very helpful," he said, conversationally. "She feels terrible about the misunderstanding at the pool. Lucy wandered into the parking lot alone, you see. I was simply trying to bring her back. Stay away from my daughter." "I've been watching her for years, Olivia, ever since that idiot Andrew fired me." "Did he tell you how she cried? How she begged him to let me come back?" Olivia pulled away from the curb and began driving. "The police know everything. They're looking for you now." Raymond laughed softly. "They won't find me. Not until I'm ready. Not until Lucy and I are together, the way it was always meant to be. Never going to happen." "It already is," he said, voice colder now. "Check your email." Olivia's hands trembled as she opened her inbox at a red light. One new message. An attachment, a photo of Lucy, taken that morning on the school playground, wearing the red sweater Olivia helped her put on. Raymond's voice came through the phone again. "As you can see, your police protection is inadequate. I could take her anytime. But I'm not a monster, Olivia. I want to do this properly." "What do you want?" she whispered. "A trade. Meet me tomorrow night. Come alone, and I'll explain everything. Involve the police, and Lucy disappears. You'll never see her again." The line went dead. The next morning, Olivia didn't call the police. She didn't tell Rivera. Didn't risk triggering Raymond. Instead, she called someone else, a name that had floated up from memory. Jim Carter, a retired detective, now working as a private investigator, specializing in child predator cases. Lucy's therapist had mentioned him once, months ago, back when Olivia worried about Lucy's safety during visits to Andrew. She dialed. Jim listened silently as she spoke. He didn't interrupt, didn't question her choices. He'd heard stories like this before. When she finished, there was a pause. Then, "Raymond Keegan fits the profile of an obsessive predator," Jim said. "He's not after any child. He's after your daughter. Because to him, she represents something he lost: connection, control, affection. He's dangerous because he's convinced himself it's love." They made a plan. Simple, risky, but better than facing him alone. Olivia would meet Raymond, just like he requested, at a small, deserted playground near the community center. 9 p.m. Jim would follow at a distance, armed, watching. A tiny recorder would be hidden in Olivia's coat. If Raymond confessed, if he threatened her, it would be enough. "Not a perfect plan," Jim admitted, "but it gives us control." That night, rain fell steadily. Olivia sat in her car across from the playground, heart pounding. Jim's truck was parked 2 blocks away. Lucy was safe at her sister Rebecca's house, an hour away. Instructions were clear. Don't open the door to anyone. At 8:58, Olivia's phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. The gazebo. She looked across the field. A wooden structure stood just beyond the swings. Dark, empty, shrouded in rain. She pulled up her hood, tucked the recorder deep inside her coat, left her phone in her pocket, set to record. Her shoes squelched in the wet grass as she crossed the park, each step heavier than the last. In the gazebo, a figure emerged from shadow. Raymond, hands in his pockets, calm, almost polite. You came alone. Good. Olivia stayed near the edge. What do you want with my daughter? Raymond smiled. I want what's best for her. He stepped forward, voice soft. Victoria's been so helpful. Told me everything. Lucy's school schedule, her favorite foods. She even arranged the sleepover. Olivia's voice was ice. Victoria's been helping you all along. Family helps family, he said simply. After I got out of Pine Valley, she was the only one who didn't abandon me. She understood me. Why Lucy? Olivia demanded. Why not any child? Raymond's eyes hardened. I don't fixate. I connect. Lucy and I had a bond in Chicago. She understood me, until her father got in the way. She was for Raymond, Olivia snapped. She didn't understand anything. She was vulnerable, just like the girl in your neighborhood, just like Victoria. Something changed in his face, a flicker of anger, pain, delusion. I've arranged everything, he said. New identities, a cabin in Vermont, peace. Lucy will have the childhood Victoria had before our father left. Olivia's voice was quiet now. Victoria isn't your sister, is she? The smile vanished. She was your first victim. Raymond's eyes narrowed. You understand nothing. A twig snapped in the darkness behind them. Raymond's head whipped around. His hand shot inside his coat. And then Olivia saw it. The metallic glint. A gun. You brought someone, he shouted. Everything exploded at once. Jim's voice from the darkness. Police! Drop your weapon! Raymond lunged, grabbed Olivia by the arm. She twisted, slipping on the wet wood. A deafening crack. Gunfire. Pain bloomed in Olivia's shoulder. She hit the floor, the recording device crushed beneath her. Blood soaked her coat. Raymond stood over her, gun shaking. You stupid woman, he snarled. I gave you a chance to do this civilly. Drop your weapon, Jim shouted again, now visible, gun drawn. Raymond turned toward him, distracted. Olivia kicked upward with all her strength. Her foot hit his wrist. The gun skidded across the floor. Raymond howled in pain, then dove for it. So did Olivia. Her fingers, slick with blood, gripped cold metal. Raymond's hand grabbed hers. He was stronger, his face inches from hers, manic rage in his eyes. She's mine, he hissed. She always was. She'll never be yours, Olivia growled through gritted teeth. A sudden movement. Jim, charging forward. Raymond saw him, hesitated. In that instant, Olivia twisted her body, breaking free, stumbled backward, clutching her wounded shoulder. Jim raised his weapon. It's over, Keegan. Drop the gun. Raymond's laugh was unhinged. You think this changes anything? I found her once. I'll find her again. Not from prison, Olivia spat. Something shifted in Raymond's eyes. A calculation. A final decision. He turned and ran. Disappeared into the night. Rain lashed the pavement as Raymond vanished into the trees. Jim gave chase, flashlight and gun drawn. Olivia collapsed against the gazebo post, pressing her hand to her bleeding shoulder. She could hear sirens in the distance, finally. But she wasn't sure she'd last that long. Her vision blurred. Footsteps pounded behind her. Uniforms, flashlights. Ma'am, stay with us. Hands gripped her, lowering her gently to the floor. A paramedic appeared, pressing gauze to the wound. Gunshot to the shoulder, through and through. She's stable. We need to move. Olivia tried to speak. Lucy, she's safe, right? The medic nodded. Your daughter's fine. We've confirmed with your sister. She blacked out before she could say thank God. She woke in a hospital bed. Everything smelled like antiseptic and bleach. Her shoulder throbbed, bandaged tight. Jim sat in the chair beside her, arm in a sling, mud still on his boots. Welcome back. Did they catch him? Olivia asked, voice dry. Jim shook his head. He vanished into the woods, abandoned the car. But we've got every cop from here to Oregon looking for him. She closed her eyes. He's still out there. Yeah, Jim said, but now we've got a federal warrant, a confession on tape, thanks to the recorder we recovered, and the full attention of every agency. We'll never stop, Olivia whispered. Maybe not, Jim said, leaning forward. But now, you won't have to fight alone. A week later, Olivia stood in court, her arm still in a sling. Lucy seated beside her, holding her hand tightly. Detective Rivera had helped her file for a permanent restraining order. Federal protection status was underway. Victoria was arrested for aiding and abetting. The charges sealed for now, but Olivia knew her betrayal ran deep. When the judge asked if she wanted to speak, Olivia rose. Your Honor, she said, her voice steady. I made mistakes. I doubted my instincts. I tried to play nice with a monster, but never again. This ends here for my daughter, for every mother who's ever been told she's just being paranoid. The courtroom was silent. The judge nodded. The order was granted. Months passed. Raymond Keegan remained at large, but Olivia and Lucy moved forward. They relocated, changed names, started fresh. Lucy had a new school, new friends. Therapy sessions became part of their weekly rhythm. One evening after dinner, Lucy sat beside Olivia on the couch. Mom? Yeah, baby. Do you think the bad man will ever come back? Olivia looked into her daughter's eyes, saw fear, but also strength. She put her arm around her and pulled her close. If he does, we'll be ready, but I don't think he will, because now he knows exactly who he's up against. Lucy smiled, then rested her head on her mom's shoulder. Outside, wind rustled the trees, but inside their small home, it was warm, safe, and Olivia knew she would never doubt her instincts again. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe for more real stories that remind us one person's vigilance can change everything.